If you're new to the process of filmmaking and are interested in learning about how production audio works and why it's important, then let's talk about it. First off, I just personally want to emphasize that I think production sound is one of the more important factors in making a movie. It's actually so important that it can actually make or break your film. I also feel that the concept isn't talked about widely enough on YouTube, or other social media platforms for that matter. So as a production sound mixer and boom operator, I believe it's extremely important to discuss the role of both of these positions and the overall impact it has on the movie production process. Perhaps you know someone that could benefit from this video. After all, audio does make up 50% of any motion picture. Well, technically now, 51%. Now, as I stated in my introduction, I'm a production sound mixer in my late 20s that comes from the independent side of filmmaking. And for those that don't know, the independent side is very much a do-it-yourself structure. And some of the issues I've observed in my community of filmmakers is the lack of attention to detail when it comes to production sound. Like, for example, not hiring someone who specifically knows what they're doing in the production sound department. Now, part of it has to do with the budgeting process, which is understandable, but by slacking on the production audio, you're taking chances on really downgrading the quality of your film. The production sound should really be recorded, mixed, and monitored by a sound person that knows what they're doing. But I can save my rant on that for another video. If you've seen any behind the scenes videos of your favorite movie, or let's say a movie that just came out of theaters, then in the behind the scenes content, you've most likely seen a tall man holding up a boom pole high above their heads. And more than not, this boom pole has a microphone attached to it. In short, this is what you consider a boom operator. And they're actually holding what you call a boom pole. Now, the boom operator technically isn't the production sound mixer, but they do work very closely with the production sound mixer, especially sometimes on very low budget productions. But sometimes on very low budget productions, the boom operator often acts as the production sound mixer. This is done by using an audio bag to hold your mixer in place while recording the audio and boom operating at the same time. But you'll hardly ever find that duo when working on higher valued productions. Now, the production sound mixer is essentially the person who records and mixes all of the production audio on set. This is hence why the position is called production sound mixer, because production refers to working on set, whereas post-production stands for working in the post-production process, otherwise known as the editing phase. But like a post sound mixer, a production sound mixer will record multi-track audio that is stored onto an SD card or another type of compact flash drive, which is used with Zaxcom. And if you don't know what an SD card is, I have a video on this channel that explains it in simple terms. Now, here's the reason why this is incredibly important, and I hope you're listening. Unlike recording in a soundproof studio where the environment is controlled, when recording on location, you're often vulnerable to the sound of many distractions from your natural environment. Maybe you're filming near an airport, a public park, a highway, some place that has a lot of loud noise playing. Or maybe you live in the most quiet and peaceful neighborhood, but then the one day you decide to record, your neighbor next door throws a giant ass party with tons of loud noise. Now, if you've done sound before, let me know in the comments if you've experienced anything like that, because honestly, you'd be surprised how common that is. If those conflicts aren't taken care of in the pre-production process before the production starts, then you're essentially shooting yourself in the foot. Because remember what I said at the beginning of this video, audio takes about 51% of any motion picture. And if the noise is extremely loud and just too distracting, the production sound mixer can only get rid of so much noise given the plugins that they possibly have within their mixer. Of course, you can throw in sound blankets and other stuff to help reduce the amount of noise coming in. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. And in the post-production process, if your audio sounds god-awful, just unmanageable, then unfortunately the only thing you can really do is ADR. And ADR is essentially recording more of that same dialogue in the post-production process. So a good production sound mixer will do everything in their power to make sure that the production audio sounds as clean as possible. Because believe me, we know that in the post-production process, if it doesn't sound good, it's done. And in order to get the clean audio, this requires understanding the acoustics of your environment, and especially knowing where and how to place wireless microphones on talent based on their wardrobe. Another very important task that a lot of mixers sometimes forget to do is enter in the metadata of each recording. This pertains to the camera roll, which is the roll the camera is recording on, the scene number, and the take number. Doing this helps save the editor a lot of time when organizing and putting everything together, and it makes your reputation as a production sound mixer more credible. Now let's take a look at an audio mixer like the Zoom F6 and learn how multi-track recordings work. I'll see you there.